Hello world, my name is Scott, or as I affectionately call myself, the bitter old queen. Okay? I'm not a therapist or a political scientist or a professional of any type. My comments, stories, and suggestions are anecdotal only. Okay? I'd like to start by addressing the previous video I made where I talked about child SA, and I kind of got a little bit animated about it. I said last video too that I won't vote for anyone over 45. Okay? The reason is I'm trying to correct for the gerontocracy that we have. I'm not saying that will be my hard, fast rule forever, but for now, until we get younger people in, because we have a gerontocracy. So, um, just another point I'd like to make too, air traffic controllers have to retire at 56, FBI agents at 57, and pilots have to retire at 65 because, you know, they're older. And I think that should be the same rule in politics. If an airline won't trust a pilot over 65, if they know the risk is too great to trust it with two or 300 people on a plane, why are we going to trust someone with the lives of two or 300 million people? Okay, when they're over 65. I'm sorry, we just have to, do this. Okay, we need to be done with the weekend at Bernie candidates and the weekend at Bernie's presidency, because this is bizarre now. I mean, what's happening with, anyway, we also need to beef up the requirements and we need to have standards for people that run for political office, especially things like criminal standards, like say you couldn't have run a phony school or charity or something like that and still be allowed to even run for dog catcher because you're a criminal, okay? And we don't want criminals in politics. Please, people, this is not what it's supposed to be like, okay? An example of something, listen to Marco Rubio in Congress the other day, testifying before Congress and watching Trump sleep on video and saying, it's not happening. I don't see him sleeping, and they're saying it's not a cult. Oy. So remember the last video I had the dunce cap and the stool idea. Well, this would have been a perfect opportunity. They could have brought out the dunce cap and the stool and put him on. The thing is, he's lying to Congress, okay, right in front of all of us, and we all see it. And so I think that when you lie to Congress, you should be up for immediate removal. You can't go on the floor of Congress and lie, So this is putting us all in danger, okay? And I think it should go either two ways. Either you're in with them, you're in with the corruption, Marco, and you're trying to hide that the president isn't fit for duty, or you're crazy and you need to be in a rubber room because it's obvious he's sleeping. So you choose. This is what the choice should be. Do you want a mental institution or do you want a jail cell? Okay? Because this is ridiculous. And the whole country, we just see it and we go, yeah, another day, another day in Washington. This is ridiculous. Same thing. I mentioned this Gish Gallop last thing too, and we have to be done with this, people. This back and forth, the round and round, the owning of the libs. The only thing we're doing is feeding their narcissism. They live off this. They don't think we're wrong. They don't think they're wrong on anything. They think we're crazy. This is literally fuel to them. Stop it. No contact. Completely ignore every Republican. I mean, we need to try this, people. Completely ignore them. Okay? Don't let them scream into the void. Okay? Like my videos. Okay. This reinforces the strong and wrong part. We need to stop trying to recruit from that side. I've heard it, we need to stop going to Klan rallies to recruit people. We're not recruiting anyone from that side. Okay? Okay? We need to stop platforming the liars on all these networks, and don't go on. Unless you're going to be alone, unless you're going to do a one-on-one with a reporter, don't go on. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. Like I say, you're giving them fuel. If they have no one to put on but right-wing idiots, okay, it'll take care of itself, okay? This reminded me of a time where um, I had an old man in my building and he had a stroke. And I went to see him in the hospital. And when I first went in, he was in the corner of the solarium in the corner and he was looking out at the East River. And I talked to him for a few minutes and I thought, oh, he seems to be fine. And then he looked over at the out the window and he said, and isn't this a lovely cruise we're on? And I said, excuse me? And he said, this food sucks, but the cruise is great, right? And all I could do is like, okay, I figured I wasn't going to confront him on this delusion. Okay. He was a man who had a stroke. This is our government. We have to confront people on their delusions. Okay. Because we are dealing with delusional people. They're living in another world somewhere. Okay. And this is abusive. You're showing people, you're going on there and letting people abuse you. And with that, they're abusing our country and the whole citizenry because we sit here and think we're helpless because all we do is see abuse after abuse after abuse. We have to stop this cycle. No more abuse. Go on, talk talk your talk and go off. Don't even engage with these people. We're done. Okay? You realize too, these people, they are not emotionally or intellectually well. Okay? In other words, these Trumpers, they have a mental illness. They're delusional. Okay? We can worry about them later. Okay? Remember, they voted for this. They wouldn't listen to an effing word out of our mouth. Okay? So, and they wouldn't do any research or anything. So we'll worry about them later. This is the time, where you put your mask on first. We need to take care of our own first. We'll worry about them later. But one thing too, like a comedian, a very famous comedian, he says it all the time, you can't fix stupid. And I have a feeling that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with some really stupid people. Okay? So anyway, my main topic though was about SA, okay, and how our country seems to be in some kind of stupor about this, okay. I'm sorry if this talk offends people, but we have to face up to this if we're ever going to put an end to it, okay. If nothing else, please realize once and for all that gay people are not the pedos. The pedos are the pedos. It is an illness and it doesn't have anything to do with sexuality, okay? Um, Pedophilia is about stealing a child's innocence and it's about control. It's not necessarily about sexuality, okay? And I'm upset as a member of the gay community. I think this is why I got so animated because I've heard this all my life. Growing up knowing I was gay and hearing that everybody, all they talked about was how we were all terrible people, you know? And look who were the groomers after all the ones who were telling us. And I'm tired of the smears. I'm tired of all this bullshit, okay? Now, like I say, now we know who the real pedos are and nothing's being done about it. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I see it. Okay. And this is where I think we're missing the opportunity here as Democrats and the Democratic leaders here. This is our number one attack. We should go after the pedos first. There are what, millions and millions of crimes. If we focus in right on the pedos, I think we can get some of the heavy hitters, some of the billionaires, and the Epstein class and their donors. We can get after them. Okay. And we make them pay, okay? We attack them on all fronts. We jail them and strip them of their wealth. That should be the penalty. We need to make that the penalty now for pedophilia. You lose 90% of your wealth. How about that? Okay? After we get the big guys, they usually do it the other way. They go for the little guys, and then the big guys always seem to get off somehow or make deals. No, let's go after the big guys, okay? And then we'll get down to the accomplices and the enablers eventually. So the thing is, too, I don't have the stomach for this. I literally cannot listen to the Epstein files. I get so upset, I get sick to my stomach. This is why I can't believe anybody can't do anything about this. But we have to vote somebody in who's got the stomach for this and will fight. Because this, I think, is a way to bring down, like I say, some of the biggest people in the Republican Party. Just go after the pedophilia. Don't worry about all the other long, 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 long list of crimes. They're all just go after the pedos. Also, once we take back power, every single person in government needs to be revetted. We have people in there with no experience in positions that need, you should have 20 years experience and a master's or a doctorate degree. And we have people, unqualified people all throughout the government. Okay. And the Republicans keep saying we need to act like a business. Okay, well, I'm telling you, in business, they vet everyone. They look at everyone's resume, they do background checks, and if anyone has any kind of criminal activity in their background, they are not hired by any company. If your company is worth anything, you will not hire a criminal. Duh. Well, that's what we should do for our government. We can't be hiring criminals, people. I've been trying to find the time to do another video about growing up with three narcissists. Okay, my mom, my dad, and my oldest brother. But I'm still finalizing the outline for that. And this is all what kind of woke me up. I was woken up to narcissism um, recently, and everything, and it's just been this growing experience. And I think narcissism is our biggest problem worldwide. We have narcissists who've taken over things, and we need to rise up and put them back in their place. Okay. So, but the one I do about my family and the narcissism, that's going to be a long video. So, anyway, please don't forget to vote on the 23rd. I'm probably going to do another video, especially if things are updated. There has been some movement in the Israel question in our district here in District 12. So I'll probably be back before the election. I'm sure I'll be back. So anyway, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos, podcasts, and playlists. Especially look at my posts. Look at the pictures of the FDR drive, or just go to Google Earth and look at it yourself. It's pretty unbelievable. We're one of the richest countries in the world. You know, and that real estate on the east side of Manhattan, that's some of the most expensive real estate in the world. And we have this falling down, rusted out highway on the side of it. Pathetic, right? Oh, well, we're number one. We're number one. So, okay, thanks for coming to court and have a great night. You've been dismissed.